has agreed to guarantee, in part, credit or loans to private schools in Ghana. The purpose of the loans, obviously, are to improve not only the business management of the private schools, but ultimately the quality of the teaching. The private schools in Ghana were unable to obtain credit simply because they were not credit worthy in the eyes of the lenders. So by helping to guarantee these loans, we hope to begin a program or a process of private school improvement in Ghana. So things started in January of 2008 when the Mitchell Group and USAID conducted a survey of 20 schools in poor areas of Accra in Ghana. The survey was really to find out from the school owners their interest in such a program and their needs in terms of staffing and staff development and retention, school administration, financial management, access to credit, capital improvement needs, sources of staff improvement, willingness, and most important, willingness to pay for financial management training and staff development. That was important because this activity has not been designed to be supported for ever. It's going to be sustainable by the end of the pilot. That's the objective. So we found that in fact there was a willingness to pay for this kind of training. There was an interest in this kind of training on the part of private schools. And so we then proceeded to put together a group of partners who would work together to implement the activity. The partners were identified to provide access to medium-sized loans at appropriate rates, and we're talking between $10,000 and $50,000, more or less. To coordinate with the government, this was envisioned as something that should be done right from the outset. And to coordinate with the private school owners, of course, as well as with the Ghana National Association of Private Schools, or GNAPS. And then, of course, groups to provide the training courses in business management and ultimately in professional development for the teachers. So the initial pilot training took place in May, and it focused on financial management, record keeping, cash flow analysis, and most importantly, development of a business plan. This is something we found that the private schools did not have. They were not operating on the basis of a business plan, and so therefore, at the end of the training, each of the schools left with the beginning of a business plan in hand. One of the other interesting aspects of the program is the quality improvement for teachers and for beyond school management. We're finding that the training programs are wonderful in terms of business development. The feedback has been highly positive, and our monitoring indicates that the learning is being applied at the school level. We're about to begin now looking into ways in which to improve teacher performance, and one of the things we're considering, and we'll be talking with USAID in Ghana about, is including private schools more in the ongoing professional development activities of the formal school system. I think that USAID is open to this. Bob will tell us that, I guess, and we hope to include the private school teachers in this. The other interesting aspect of the program, I think, is that, as I said, or as I mentioned at the beginning, the activity started out right away with government involvement. In fact, the Ministry of Education, there's a group within the Ministry of Education called the Ghana Education Service, which is the implementing arm of the Ministry of Education. The GES, as it's known, Basic Education Division, has the government oversight responsibility of private schools, and it determines how much private schools can charge its students based on its own set of criteria. So already it's quite involved in this effort. There's a rating system which goes from A through D in descending order of quality, and it serves to place limits on private school tuition, with A schools allowed to charge the highest tuition and D schools and unrated schools the lowest. The GES recognizes the lack of oversight that is provided to the private schools and has recently submitted a proposal to the Parliament to train private school district coordinators on standard operating procedures for private schools so that they can be certified by the ministry. While the GES oversight is generally weak, many private schools, especially in areas where public schools are absent, receive frequent visits from GES inspectors. And you know how that goes. Depending on the inspector, either support is provided or it turns more into a kind of a critique of the school itself and can ultimately be detrimental. All right, in conclusion, I'll just say that our plan is to, we're doing a midterm evaluation right now. On the basis of that, we'll make some adjustments. We plan to move to a second country to begin a second pilot, and that country is yet to be determined. And as I mentioned yesterday, we'll also be conducting a meta-analysis to determine, to see how private schools are operating worldwide and in comparison with the formal school system. Okay, thank you.